You've kept that very real. Like I remember days seeing you on a Sunday morning after you'd been out on a Saturday night as a student, and there's still that, and
Those
there's
days
still
are long
yeah.
behind me.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Fabulous Flix. If you are now one of the 5 people that allow me to invade your space, thank you for tuning back in. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I started this a walk around Guelph. This is now the 5th episode, and the goal is straightforward. It's to bring a positive spin of humanity on people we might see on a screen, but maybe sometimes forget that there's a lot going on in life right now. My guest, I realize I probably sound like a broken record because I always say, it's great to have this person on. But this one is one that I have humbly been looking forward to for a long time. My guest today is, and I've been waiting years to be able to say this on a public forum, Dr. Kelsey Duncan N.D. Kels, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I don't get the doctor all that often, so it still makes me a little uncomfortable,
It makes
honestly.
me uncomfortable.
Because even my patients, I'm like, no, just call me Kelsey.
Yeah.
Just call me Kelsey.
Please, I feel weird.
Please stop.
I do not want to do this.
Yeah.
So first things first, it is a Friday, and we'll get into what you do in a few minutes for people that don't know. But I want to say thank you for taking the time. I know that we are in the middle of a work day. Hopefully nobody at the company I work for is putting 2 and 2 together, because I, in theory, should be working. In fact, I think I logged this as work time on my calendar. If anyone looks at my work calendar, they're going to have a few questions. So first things first, I guess. You and I have known each other since 2011. And although the world knows you as Dr. Kelsey Duncan,
Okay. Is this my surprise?
I know you as Kels.
Aww.
Can you see this? So this is us
goodness.
in 2014.
I
when
just
you
made
came...
Tyler throw those shoes out. Just like last year.
Is
like
he the
throw
hoarder?
them out. Oh, yeah.
Oh. We also have spent some time in the gym. Back in the day, Stacy, I think, made us do a TRX session at an ungodly time of the morning, and I'm pretty sure this is you and I cursing my then girlfriend's name. And even going back, so this is how I know you. This is, to me, this is Kels, right? This is you as a co-op student. For those that don't know, you originally wanted to be a pharmacist, if I remember correctly. And
yeah, look how that turned out.
Yeah, Stacy, who is my wife, hired you as a co-op student, and we were so excited when you said that you would be part of our wedding party. So this is a picture of you at our wedding. And I don't bust out the wedding pictures a lot for anybody that knows me. So take this for what it is. Enjoy the moment. You probably won't see them a ton, but you and I have a very long history. And
yes,
I think that's why I was sincerely so excited, because I remember when you decided to make this career change. And I remember a few things. Number one, when you brought the boy home, which we'll talk about in a moment. But number two, when you said you wanted to leave the idea of being a pharmacist and become a naturopath. So if you don't mind, kind of for people out there that may or may not be listening, why? What was the change? Why? Was it a moment? Yeah. Was it something you had an aha thing? Like, tell me about it.
So here's like the absolute truth, which I don't know. I'm sure I've mentioned like in my social platform a little bit, but I applied to pharmacy school. Yeah, here's the dirt. I applied to pharmacy school and I did not get in. And I did not get in because I was missing a prerequisite. And while I was at J&J, so my last like semester, my last like semester where I was finishing school, but I was also at J&J, I was also driving to Waterloo to take these like god awful
I
science
remember this.
courses.
Yes.
Like thermochemistry is the dumbest thing I have ever learned in my entire life.
It sounds like
I
something from an
killed
Avengers
myself.
movie.
Oh, it was so hard. It was so hard. And I was like, what am I doing?
Thermochemistry? Are you building
Yes.
a bomb, or like what's going on with this?
I do not use that information at all ever in my life now.
Kids,
But there was
don't do
like,
it. You won't use
yeah,
it.
it's not worth it. Uh, no, I did not say that. Um, I thought I was like good to go, but I missed a prerequisite. So, anyways, I got rejected. But in that moment, I was like, oh, thank God. And that's when I was like, I actually don't want to do this. Like, this is not something I do not want to go to pharmacy school. It does not align with my like personal values at all. And that's the moment I realized that my career ambition was unclear because all I knew at that point was I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to own my own business. And through university, my discovery was like I came to school for chemistry. I thought I was going to be a chemistry teacher, nearly failed chemistry. So that was out in first semester of first year. And I was like, okay, I can own a pharmacy. I can be a pharmacist. I can own a pharmacy.
Walking
And
around the white coat. Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
yeah, I was
Yep.
like,
There were many.
that
I think that was the subject
seems
of many
cool.
one-liners and jokes during that
It'll
time.
be
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I realized that like I actually didn't want to be a pharmacist, I just wanted to be a business owner, then I could kind of turn inwards and be like, well, what do I actually like? And I flipped my major like one semester before I was due to graduate so that I could take a bunch of nutrition and health courses and heard about CCNM, which is the naturopathic college in Toronto from a friend of mine. And I was like, and I had worked with the naturopath before, but it had never really crossed my mind. And that conversation made me go, I think I could really like that. And 3 months later, I was sitting in my first class. It was very much like a universal cosmic urge of just, this feels right. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have not been dreaming of this my whole life. It was just, I'm going to apply. Cool. I had an interview. They liked me. They're like, here, you want to come? You can start in January. I was like, sure. I graduated. I took 2 weeks off and I was at school.
I
two
remember
weeks
that
later.
transition. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tell you what, I love the raw honesty. I think it takes, and I'm not here to kiss your ass for the next 15 minutes, I promise. But it
Oh,
takes
okay.
it takes raw courage to, on any platform, whether you're typing it or whether you're sitting here with me doing this virtually, to say, I didn't get accepted to this. I missed something, and it's literally the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because
Yep.
I see the person that you've become, and we'll talk about how our lives intermingle kind of since. And I cannot imagine you doing anything other than the specialty of what you do. Obviously, I have a very personal tie to that now, which I will be forever grateful for. But it's wild to think that at some point you were going to be the ultimate pill pusher, and now you are a naturopathic doctor that, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to take your moment, but specializes in fertility. That
Very different.
it's one of the most opposite things I have ever heard of.
Yep.
But I have the pleasure of chatting with your spouse, and please, if you call him your partner, I'm probably going to end this thing immediately. So please,
I was warned
it's
not
like,
to use
yeah,
that
huge
word.
pet peeve.
I'm going to call him baby daddy if that's
I
okay.
like that. Yeah. But I have the pleasure of spending a fair amount of time with Tyler in terms of doing some YouTube stuff, and he's always so genuine about how much you sincerely love what you do, and we're all, quite frankly, a little envious, except for me. I love what I do. If anybody from work is watching, I love what I do. I swear to God. But it's awesome. But your life is pretty crazy at home. And Tyler and I touched on this, but clearly he does 14% of the work because,
Oh, no, no,
again,
no, no, no,
oh, she's
no,
gonna.
no,
So
no.
tell me about what the day looks like in your eyes. Now, you've probably seen Tyler's episode at this point, so you've kind of got
I actually
a head
haven't.
start. You haven't
Don't
watched.
tell him. He's probably listening.
You haven't watched the episode.
I didn't want it to influence me.
Oh, that is a
If that
wonderful
makes
save. Oh,
sense.
good. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe you at
So,
all, but that's
yeah.
amazing. Okay. So tell me what the schedule looks like on your end, because you have a
Okay.
busy house.
Yeah, we have a really busy house. And like, first off, let me clear up like what I was saying no to in terms of Tyler doing 14% of the work, because I could not do what I do and work at the capacity that I work at if Tyler wasn't the way that he is in our household. He is the person. Like, I think we have this societal view of the woman running the household and being the mother, but Tyler steps up in more ways than I could ever imagine and is oftentimes the primary parent in our household, especially when the babies were young. Um, and I wouldn't be able to be as successful, and I wouldn't be able to pour into work the energy that I pour into if Tyler wasn't, 50%, if not more, in our house. So I hope when he listens to that, he loves that, but it's true.
We all knew Tyler would be a good mom. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Just to throw in that typecast just that one more time before
He really
we move
is
on.
though. He is.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He's
And
a gem.
yeah. And he would love to stay home all day with our kids. I love my children, but I love my work. So and not that if anyone at his office is listening, not that he doesn't love his work, but like
he works like crazy, I swear.
Yeah, he's working right now.
Right now, yeah.
I mean, yes, I stay home because I work from home now, but like I'm not happy sitting at home all day playing with my kids, and it took me a long time to be comfortable admitting that. And it's not that I don't spend time with my children. Obviously I do, but whereas that fulfills him, for me, I need something more. So we've found a really nice balance where we both get what we want. And there's obviously some days where I'm 100% and where he's 100%, so that we can both pursue other pieces. But I think that's really what makes us work as a family, is where we get that's important.
He says you guys try and switch off mornings. Like there's a morning where like one person tries to sleep until 7 a.m.
Yeah. Our daughter is so cute, but like girl starts her day at 4:30. And
I've heard this.
For like, I
now
say
briefly
like
understand how much of how terrible that is. Yeah.
It sucks. Like there's no like, oh, it's okay. Like, no, it's pretty terrible. And for a long time, I did manage the mornings by myself until like fall of last year. This is maybe a funny but maybe inappropriate story that might paint Tyler in a bad light, but she got up and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to go get her?" And I was like, "No, I want you to go and get up with her, because I have gotten up with her every day for the last 18 months of her life. Like, she's not nursing. It's not that she needs milk. She doesn't need me." So he was like, "Oh, okay." And that was the moment I learned that you simply just have to ask for what you need. And there's some advice for all of you parents out there.
Yeah.
And ever since, we have gone every other morning. Like, and just in the house.
Yeah. And just to further on that, as a species, we're not intelligent enough to pick up on the subtle cue. It doesn't matter if we're 15, 35, or 70. If you want something done, all you have to do is ask. I understand you'll have to ask 435 times, but we're not going to get offended because we don't remember the last time you asked anyway. And we're happy to do it. But if you've told us 17 times and on the 18th time we don't do it and you get mad, we're like, "What? You didn't ask?"
Yeah.
I'm not saying that happens consistently at my house. I will, however,
you're not
say
saying
that.
It doesn't.
I'm not saying it doesn't. Oh, and just for the record, I realize I've said a couple of things that might lead people to believe that I'm hiding a baby here. I am not. I am forever grateful for what you do, because my sister is expecting, and we have a not yet 12-week-old Frenchie pup. So if my mom sees this, I'm not hiding a baby. There's no trickery going on here. I think that I would look even worse if there was a baby being hidden here based on my level of responsibility for the first 41 years of my life. Okay. Yeah. So that's a busy,
Yeah.
that's a busy household. And then, so you became a naturopath. You worked with a really super cool girl with a really super cool name, Harmony, if I'm not mistaken. Was that her name? Thanks.
Yeah.
Because I did come and see you and let you poke needles in me a couple times. And then, crazy enough, before the world had even heard of COVID-19, you take this leap of faith, which I'm assuming was a big household high five, go get it, to do not only your own clinic, but to base it online. And this is why I'm really excited to have you on here, because you, if I'm not mistaken, you literally spend your days emotionally connecting with people in an online space.
Yep.
So take me through, like, whether it's kind of how did you make that decision, or really kind of what your day looks like. Obviously, we're not going to use any names. I want to make sure that everyone has their confidentiality, but take me through either how you got to that point, or really what your day looks like now, and kind of the fulfillment involved in that, and kind of what that snapshot is.
Yeah. So after I had Nyla in 2019 in May, and I took 4 months off when I had her, which was huge for us and me, especially because I didn't really get that when I had Cole. I kind of just kept working. So I was like, nope, you know what? I don't know if we'll have any more children. I want to really like soak this up. And through my time off with Nyla, I had a lot of time to think about, okay, where do I want to go from here? I was very successful at the clinic. I loved my time at the clinic, but I had kind of reached my capacity there. And I was, killing myself doing insane hours with lots of patients to make the impact I wanted to make. And I knew I could do more. And I knew I wanted to do more. And I always wanted an online business. So I had the time to really think, how is this going to work? And I went back to the clinic very briefly in the fall, but had already sort of said, like, this is it. I'm going to do it. Said my goodbyes, which were very sad, but then took my private practice completely virtual while I built out my signature program, Fertility Confidence Method, which I then launched in December of 2019. And it couldn't have been, more cosmic timing, really,
Right.
at the end of the day.
Yep.
Because I would have been forced to do that. I would have been forced to take my practice virtual in March, but instead I got to just keep going. My clients were used to this type of work. I was then able to help my colleagues and friends figure out, like, how do you make this work? And I honestly thought that it was like, I'll try it for a year. I wanted to be home. Nyla wouldn't take a bottle. So a lot of it was like, I can work from home. I can feed her. I don't have to stress about it. And let's just see what happens. And the response, not just in the community in Guelph, but now I'm seeing women all across Ontario, has just been astronomical, and been able to expand my reach even out into like all of North America, which has been crazy. And I can't imagine working any other way. And honestly, it came down to me just being really, really clear with what I wanted my life to look like in 5 years. And I was very comfortable at the clinic, and I could have stayed comfortable and making okay money and helping a decent amount of people. But I wanted to do something that was scary. And I knew that I was more than capable to make whatever I dreamt of a reality, especially with the support that I have around me. So I blew my entire life up. And I was like, let's just see what happens. Why not?
So,
and yeah, it's been good.
So before we get into the actual part of this, which is supposed to be about what you're watching, but
movies
really ends up being like the end part of it. So what is your biggest challenge in a day, and what is your favorite part about your day in terms of your work life?
So my favorite part of my day simply, honestly, is just interacting with my clients. And I do that in a wide variety of ways. So through like one-on-one sessions, through coaching calls in my program. I just got off one before. And it's honestly, it's so amazing to feel like, for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is so basic. Like, I'm not doing anything. And then I get like flooded with responses of like, Kelsey, thank you so much for saying that. Like, you're changing my life. I wish I found you sooner. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm doing something. I am doing something okay. So that piece obviously keeps me going and gets
Hmm.
me out of bed. My daughter
Hmm.
gets me out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, but
Fair.
like my work allows me to function by getting up at 4:30 in the morning. Like you said in the beginning, I genuinely love what I do. And I have never felt more joy than helping women make babies. Like, it's it's so incredibly fulfilling to me that I honestly can't imagine doing anything else. And but with that does come hardship and loss and hard conversations. And
Yeah.
that's probably, the hardest part, especially being virtual, is like, yes, I have found it very much a possibility to still have that emotional connection through the screen and still be able to support someone in the same capacity that I could in my office. But there's nothing like someone sitting in a screen in front of you and you feel their pain so deeply. And I mean, granted, with COVID, I'm obviously not allowed to hug anybody ever, but
Yeah.
like, all you want to do is even just like reach out a hand and be like, I am here for you. And it's
Yeah.
that part's not quite the same. And I mean, I struggle through that still, and probably always will, with the loss side of my business.
Yeah.
And what makes me good at what I do is that I feel things so deeply. So that is, a big boundary piece that I've really had to learn, of like not taking that into my
Yep.
everyday life.
Yeah. No, I
So
get
that
it.
is the hardest for sure.
Yeah, and when it comes to people that are in your position professionally, when it comes to, I'm assuming the medical field, I think we've been inundated by people that have that persona, and that persona is the same on screen, it's the same on a Google ad. And what I love about what it is that you do, because I, being a bit of a marketing nerd, like I love following friends of mine and what they do from a social standpoint. I love how raw and unfiltered you allow yourself to vulnerably be put out there. I remember getting up one morning, having a morning coffee, and just kind of doing the morning scroll while Sports Center was on. And I'm obviously going to batch this post up because I don't remember it word for word, but it borderline was like, I just can't today. Like, I didn't sleep well. I'm effing exhausted. It's just a crappy day, and that's all right. And it
Yep.
was very refreshing, and you allow yourself to show that human side. And I think that people are so concerned about always looking perfect that we forget that it's okay not to be. And if there's one
Yep.
massive kudos I want to give to you in the next few minutes is thank you for being so raw. Like, I love the fact that you'll get on there and your hair isn't done and you might have slept 30 minutes, or you had a rough day the day before, having to have awkward conversations, and you're not afraid to throw the camera on or throw the phone on without the fancy mics or the lighting, which we both obviously have around us, and go, some days are not great, and that's all right.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
very,
I
very,
think
very cool.
it's honestly, there's no bigger compliment to me than my clients and my patients saying, I feel like I know you. I feel like we're friends. Like, to me, that is the utmost compliment, because it means I'm doing my job. And I think we're taught in school, like, don't be friends. You can't be friends with your patients. You can't treat your friends. Like, it's a transactional relationship, which obviously we keep it very professional, but it's important to me that they also know I am a human, much like you, and feelings will be felt and shit days happen, and
Yep.
that's okay. And through teaching through my experience and showing that I am a human, it makes me more relatable.
I
And
agree.
that's how my business has grown, truthfully. Is honestly, Instagram has been a huge driving force for me in my practice.
Hmm.
And oftentimes people are reaching out and saying, hey, I've been following you forever. I love everything that you say. I like feel like a part of your family. Can you help me? I'm like, absolutely. Come
And I
be
love that
the most part of
genuineness.
my
Like
family.
yeah, like you've kept that very real. Like I remember days seeing you on a Sunday morning after you'd been out on a Saturday night as a student. And there's still that. And
Those
there's
days
still,
are long behind me.
now we're getting up at 4:30 instead of coming in at 4:30.
Yeah.
But you've always maintained that same general, like that same genuine persona. And I think that's awesome. So after you've had that day and you've had great conversations, you've had rough conversations, the kids are in bed. What are 2 or 3 things that you want to watch over the next month or so to kind of, whether it's tune out, maybe you like to watch stuff that's educational, which is dumb in my opinion, but like what do you want to throw on at the end of that day?
So I've been thinking about this a lot since you asked me to come on, because I was like, oh, I was telling Tyler, like, I'm a little bit stressed because like he's probably
you do fertility all day, but what movies am I going to pick or what shows?
This is like a really hard, and this is why, and this is what I want to explain, because I think this is important, and I'm assuming I'm the first female on.
Well, other than Tyler? Yes, you are the first.
So
female.
This is what I want to explain, that I kind of like finally came to terms with, that Tyler makes fun of me all the time, is that I watch the same shit over and over and over again. And I was like, well,
you and I are the same.
Yeah, all the time. And it all came down to, he was like, you can't make decisions. Like, you're the worst. It's
Wait
actually
till you
baffling.
watch his interview.
Great. I was like, it's actually baffling that I, run such a large company, because like I actually am a very indecisive person in most aspects of my life, except for when it comes to business. But
can't agree.
And it's true. It's true. Like I have a hard time making decisions. But then I realized that the reason I like rewatching things and putting the same shit on is because I have such a demanding day. It starts at 4:30. My kids have me on full tilt till I can finally get them in the car and to daycare. And then I am on, no matter how crap of a sleep I had, no matter how I'm feeling, it doesn't matter. Once I'm in front of my computer, I'm there for other people. It's not about me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be on, even when I'm so far from it. Mm-hmm. Internally, I can't let that be a thing. So by 7, like my kids, we have a hard bedtime. I do not mother past 7 p.m. I do not. It is like a hard rule. So my children are in bed, asleep by 7. It's the best for all of us. And at that point, that's when I'm finally just like, ugh. And some days I have nothing left to really give. And I need my brain to turn off. Like it's on. I'm either thinking about protocols or clients or marketing or this. Like there's so many things happening up here all the time that TV and movies can actually make that worse if I have to like think about it or pay attention.
All right. So what's your go-to? Like, what's your turn on?
So if I am like really just ready to like do nothing, I'm putting Friends on for the literally 1 millionth time. I watch it every day. It's
important, but Friends is one of those shows that you could. Friends and Big Bang Theory, I feel like you could literally
I just cycle through.
Yeah, 100%.
Just continue.
Eventually, we'll see all of them.
I
Channel 46, whenever it's on for Big Bang or whatever it is. Friends has been on a bunch lately, which is awesome.
Yeah. I just cycle Friends through it over and over.
What else?
The other thing, so I have a pattern. So I'll watch all of Friends. And once that's done, I will then watch all of Gilmore Girls. And I haven't seen it as often because I didn't watch it when it was like first aired. I had only actually watched it when I had Cole. So it's only been 4 years. So I've probably only seen it 4 times. I think I watch it like once a year, maybe.
Got it.
And every time Tyler's like, oh, Gilmore
there's no
Girls
aliens in this.
Again. There's no explosions.
None. No one's a Cylon.
Yeah, no, we did actually try to start Battlestar again. And we I don't think either of us could really get into it, which was weird because we both I mean, he loves it, and I didn't mind it the first time we watched it, but
it's getting a reboot,
and then,
apparently.
is it really? Well,
yeah,
then
which
we'll
could
just
be
wait
a
till that
disaster.
happens.
All right, so Gilmore Girls, Friends, and what about something to round out a top 3?
The other one is Grey's Anatomy, and I make a joke that this is me studying. This is
Fair.
I'm learning.
My guilty pleasure is House. My guilty pleasure
I like
is
that
House.
one too.
I love House. I didn't realize I was just shy of my 41st birthday, which was fairly recent, when I found out that House is built on the premise of Sherlock Holmes. Had no idea.
That makes sense,
House,
but I didn't
Holmes,
know that either.
Wilson, Watson.
Oh, that's funny. Oh,
right?
I didn't know that. Yeah,
I didn't know that either. My friend Maria McDougall, who watched these, literally told me that over group text. I'm like, shit, it really is. It's really
never knew.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. Fair
I could
enough.
probably watch that again too.
So now I feel bad because you've been stressing over this. And have you watched any of the episodes so far to the end? Because if not, Tyler probably didn't. Oh, you have. So then maybe you will be prepped. So
I watched the first one. Yeah.
Okay. So if I wanted to watch something to better understand who you were.
Oh no.
I know, right? So like I always give the example to me, it's Happy Gilmore. If you want to know who I am as a person, watch Happy Gilmore. Fun loving, barely follow the rules, find another way home most of the time. If you wanted to taste, if you want to better understand who I am as a person, whether it's your personality or disposition, I feel like I could say watch anything in Friends for you, but maybe I'm wrong.
Do you want to know? I'm just going to tell you what's coming to my brain and
now
try to explain it.
Do it.
Legally Blonde. I love Legally Blonde. I think Reese Witherspoon is amazing. And that, like, I can't remember her name, Elle Woods. That girl, did whatever it took to reach her goal. She kicked ass.
You know what else I loved
about her?
Legally Blonde is she was underestimated from the word go. And not that I want to make this a deep, deep dive, but I could imagine that when you were deciding to A, switch your major a week before, and then B, do something virtual, there's probably those things that creep into your mind. Like there's probably a bunch of people around me that think I'm absolutely nuts. So you know what? Sure. That is the best response I have heard.
Yep. And she did it in her own way. She wore her like fancy pink things and everyone was like, who's this girl? Yeah.
Everyone knows that perms frizz. Please don't ask me why. I remember at the end of that. Please do not judge me. Yep.
I'm going to watch that movie now.
Yeah. Tyler, guess what? It's going on and there's no aliens.
Yep. Yep. He'll love it.
100% he will. Well, Dr. Kelsey, it's still very, very weird. It's been 11 years. It is amazing to see what you've accomplished. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. I know you helped my sister out fairly recently, which will make me an official uncle, and I will try and not get sappy and emotional because that's not who this is. But you have the ability to sincerely change the lives of people that you may never meet in person. And I think that that's a legacy that number one, we could all wish for, but I think that there's some beautiful poetry in that, most of the time these people and their offspring, which you help bring into this world, you're never going to be able to high five and hug them, but you've been able to extend that olive branch to help. I love your posting. I love what you do. And I love the fact that you've always been yourself about it. And that's what this really is all about, this walk around Guelph. It's taking the people that we see on Instagram, that we see on Facebook, that we see in our business community, and reminding them that they have schedules and they want to watch Friends and they're not afraid to say the word shit, even though they're a doctor or a lawyer. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time today. I hope that after we're done, I'm going to hit stop here and we'll stay on for a couple minutes. Is there anything you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Just go get that puppy's way.
Oh God, here we go. Anyway, again, I appreciate it so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys when all this is done. Okay.
Yeah.
Take care.